Welcome back to another edition of Drill by Field. Today we're going to go over our transfer progression from the catching point of view. A couple of pretty simple drills. We just want to, again, work on the small movements when we have to go faster, and when game time happens, we're able to let muscle memory take over. So to start our transfer progression, we're going to cut our body in half. Right? We're trying to work on new movements, new concepts. What we want to feel is the upper half movement first. Okay, so we're going to start both knees down. The player's going to get into his catch point. Okay, we want to get in the habit of catching the ball a little bit deeper, reaching as far as a full game is concerned. We get caught in between blocks, and the ball takes over and we're trying to simply receive baseballs. As far as transferring goes, we just got too much distance between our glove and our hand. Okay, so we're gonna have our catch point. Again, it's gonna be pretty relative to each player. Okay, mine's gonna be at a bent elbow. That's all I'm trying to feel, where I feel comfortable, I feel loose and relaxed. Okay, the first part of the progression, we're gonna feed our throwing hand, so it's gonna be my right hand. Okay, and the second part of the progression, we're going to catch into the glove and me in the center. So to demonstrate real quick. So after the demonstration, I want to bring up a few key points. One is that catch point, right? When we're reaching, we get caught in transition a lot, right? That's where the fumbling happens, and if we're not getting clean in the hand, we're obviously not going to be clean to second base or first base or third base, wherever we're trying to end up with that throw. And number two, just like everything else, rhythm and timing is very important. We want to feel that turn with the baseball or against the baseball, whatever mentally makes sense to you. But creating rhythm and timing into the hand is going to be really important for getting your feet underneath you and being athletic to the base you're trying to throw to. So for the second part of this progression, the upper half's going to do similar movements to the beginning, right? We'll catch first in the right hand, really feeling the depth of contact and the turning with the baseball. All we're going to do now is introduce our lower half. Okay, and again, we're going to do pieces at a time. So I'm just going to go left knee up first. As far as the transfer goes, when we have both our feet underneath us, we want to feel that left knee turning against my throwing arm. Again, rhythm and timing, creating direction early. For the third part of the progression, we're going to work on getting our back foot underneath us, our right foot underneath us, nice and square to second base. Okay, so as far as the upper half movements goes, it's going to be a pretty similar move, right? Catch them with your depth of contact, trying to create direction early, but all we're trying to do is get our feet underneath us. The last part of the progression we'll do is actually get our feet underneath us. Everybody's secondary is going to be a little bit different. For me, as far as secondary is concerned, I'm just trying to get my feet underneath my knees where I get a wider base. Toes pointing out so I can move left and right if I need to shift and block. Okay, if I need to work underneath and get my feet underneath me. It's just more about being athletic, right? If your hips are too low in the secondary, it's going to be pretty tough to work laterally. That's when we get our breaking ball counts. That's also where we're going to have runners. So we've created rhythm and time. We've got our hands nice and loose as far as what we want to feel transferring to bases. Now we're actually going to get our footwork involved. So we're going to go to each base by base, and talk about each one of those movements. But the main gist of it is this is a muscle memory feel. So whenever we're in game, this is not something you're actually going to have to think about. We just practice it so it does get built into your core, right? Where like that is my automatic movement. That's my instinct whenever this particular ball is fed to me. Okay. So first ball I want to talk about is the ball inside your frame. So when we talk about inside our frame, we talk about inside of our feet. For catchers, inside the plate also makes a good deal of sense. But when the ball is inside of our frame, we have the ability to get our feet underneath us, whatever base we're trying to throw to. Okay. The bigger problem, and again, this is with a lot with amateur baseball, is the ability to rock and throw when the ball is outside my frame. So if I'm catching a ball arm side, it got outside my frame, I have to learn to just pivot off my right foot and throw to the base I need to throw to, right? There's just too much time if we have to replace our feet again, right, left. So we're gonna demonstrate a couple different moves, both inside the frame and outside the frame. The main thing I wanna feel is after I throw the baseball, are my feet in good direction? So if you have any question about how do I know if I'm having good direction, the plate's gonna tell you first baseline, third baseline, and the back of the plate's gonna lead you to second base. Okay, so if my feet are offline there, there's a good chance that ball's also offline. Okay, so it's really important that after you make the rep happen, you get a visual of where you are around the plate. Base. We've talked about rhythm and timing. We've talked about the footwork involved as far as what baseballs were getting fed to us. And now we're going to talk about a little more of a game speed action, right? Trying to get the heart rate up a little bit, trying to speed up the action, see if we can still be clean into the throw. So what we'll do is we'll call it a little rapid fire transfer. We're going to do the basics of basics. He's going to throw 5 in a row pretty quickly. I'm going to catch, drop, all the way through 5. Some variations you can add as far as the more advanced players, more advanced coaches. You can add verbals to bases. So first ball could go to first base, second ball could go to first base, third ball go to second, fourth to second, the fifth one go to third base, right? Where they're having to make an in-game read, right, with a verbal.
As always, thanks so much for watching the video. If you could, in order to grow this baseball community, I need you to like, comment, and share these videos on all social platforms with your friends. And as always, send you positive feels.